Hello everybody, hopefully you can hear me okay. Uh, this is the first time I've ever done one of these videos, and I had to do it because I had a lot of stuff to say, and I couldn't, I think writing it out in a comment section would have been too long, so why not do like a free-form long video? This is a video response to a video that was posted by Mid-Level Media. If you guys aren't following him or subscribing him, definitely do so. Ken is his name. He's a really nice guy. He's got a really good channel. This is in response to a video that he posted a few days ago called the top 10 or the 10 biggest physical media controversies of 2022. And sorry if you can hear my fan going. It is a little bit hot in here. I say that as I put a blanket on. And he brought up basically a lot of things that I wanted to discuss. He also said, openly acknowledged that he thought, like, that he's just representing, like, he's just listing out what were the big controversies. These aren't ones that he personally agreed with. He even thought that some of them were a little over the top and ridiculous. So, just two things right off the bat. Number one, this is in no way, shape, or form a negative response to his video at all. This is more so just me using it as a reference point to voice my opinions, which leads me into number two. This is my opinion. It is not fact. I do not purport it or propose it to you as fact. These are just my opinions. If you do not agree with them, that is completely fine. Just have a reasonable discussion about it. This video, as stated, listed off the 10 biggest physical media controversies of 2022. All 10 of them were revolving around the 4K format, and out of all 10 of them, because I did watch the video, two of them I understood and could agree with, to a point. Everything else I found to be completely ridiculous, and we're going to break down why. I do not collect 4K. I do have two in my collection. I do have a 4K copy of Birds of Prey, mainly because it was on sale for Black Friday, and I wanted to buy it as my first 4K because I love the movie, and I wanted to at least have a copy of a movie on that format in the collection, because I have laser discs. I don't have a laser disc player. I have beta. I don't have a beta player. I have HD DVDs. I do have an HD DVD player, though. The other 4K I have is Possessor Uncut. The reason why I have this is because the uncut Blu-ray version for some reason got sold out and never came to Best Buy. But they did have the 4K version, and I figured since it was a combo pack that also came with the Blu-ray, I would just get it and watch the Blu-ray, and that's exactly what I did. That's it. Those are the only two 4Ks that I have in my collection. I do not have a 4K TV or a 4K player, and for the near future, I really have no plans on getting one. All of these controversies can be boiled down to minor inconveniences and people taking nitpicking to an outrageously big extreme this year in regards to physical media. I love physical media. Obviously I collect it. There has to be a point though where I don't know where people are going to draw the line. What's acceptable and what's not? What is okay for you and what's not? So at number 10, I don't have the video in front of me. They were pretty easy to remember. Number 10 was misprinting on Scream Factory releases. What that would mean is that, for example, there were a few copies of a movie called The Ninth Configuration that was released. It was misprinted on the spine as the ninth coin figuration. They corrected this and they relabeled it and they put it out there. But a few of those misprints got out. But that's not the big issue with this one. The big issue was, do I happen to have a Scream Factory on hand? No, I don't. But let's just say they were not happy with like certain audio mislabeling. For example, this copy of PG Psycho Gorman that I just pulled out. It says Audio DTS HD Master Audio 5.1. They were concerned or complaining about the fact that some Scream Factory releases would have the Dolby Atmos and the DTS 5.1, but when they popped the disc in, it wouldn't have the Dolby Atmos included. And some people were not happy about that. They were up in arms and complaining to Scream Factory about that. Already, at this point in the video, I'm kind of annoyed because I'm like, alright, well, we're starting on something pretty trivial and kind of dumb, in my opinion. He brought up a good point. I understand you bought something, it says that it has this on there, you get home and it's not there. To me, that is not a controversy. That is an inconvenience, a very minor one at that. I would just shoot an email to the company going, hey, the disc said it had this, it doesn't have this on it. Is there any way you can shoot me a replacement disc? And I would just wait a couple of days in the mail for a replacement disc. That's what I would do. That's my mindset. I understand not a lot of people have that similar mindset. That's, me. At number 9 was another Scream Factory release. Now, I have this. It's over on the shelf. I have the Blu-ray of it. And that was the 4K release of the 1996 film The Craft. If you haven't seen it, it's a really good movie all about witchcraft, and it's just that perfect 90s, like mid-90s teen horror movie. It's really, really good. And I have seen the movie on Blu-ray. I thought Scream Factory did a really good job putting the movie on Blu-ray. This controversy that was brought up was because on the 4K transfer of the film, the opening credit sequence of the main titles superimposed over clouds didn't look as good as the rest of the movie. Now keep in mind, that opening sequence lasts about 2 or 3 minutes. And they said the rest of the movie is like really good looking, it looks up to standard with 4K, it was just those first 2 to 3 minutes. And they said it was running in a lower process than the rest of the movie, or a processing rate. Who cares? Honestly, if I'm watching a movie and unless it's super noticeable, because I looked at pictures of it and I really can't tell a difference between the Blu-ray that they have and the 4K that they have between these frickin' clouds. Unless it's super noticeable, meaning a movie has been severe. If we're talking like Echo Bridge multi-feature DVD level picture quality, then that's a problem, and I can understand getting up in arms about it. But if you're complaining about an opening credit sequence in which odds are most people are kind of like looking at their phones while this stuff is happening until the movie proper actually starts, I really don't understand what the big deal is. I mean, I really don't. And they said that, you know, oh, it looks like Blu-ray quality on a 4K. Stop. Like, that's insane to me. That comment is really just... I really don't know. I don't know. Now, number 8 has layers to it, bullet points. It's another Scream Factory set. It's another 4K set, and that is the Halloween box set that came out this year from Scream Factory. This comes with Halloween: The Curse of Michael Myers, Halloween H2O, 20 years later, and Halloween Resurrection, all on 4K. Last year they released Halloween 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 on 4K. One of the controversies with this was the fact that this was being released as a box set and people couldn't buy the releases individually. Excuse me. Yes, I understand that can be annoying, but I really don't know what to tell you. It was their choice. Um, Odds are they did it. Some people speculated they did it because people were only going to, if they put those three movies out, people were only going to buy H2O. They weren't going to put their money towards Curse of Michael Myers or Resurrection. Odds are the people you're releasing these to are probably going to pick those two up anyway. So I don't understand where the ire is coming from. Like, oh, well, I just wanted that one movie. Well, did you buy the first 5 that were released on 4K? Yeah. Well, wouldn't that look kind of weird, having 2 holes in there? I mean, I understand Resurrection's terrible, and The Curse of Michael Myers has its problems, but wouldn't that put a hole in there? I don't know. The other thing was the price point. A lot of people were not happy with the price point, and yeah, I think the price point's outrageous too. This set ranged from either $110 to $130, depending on where you got it from. Spending over $100 on a box set of just 3 films, no matter what format it is absolutely ridiculous. Now, this is coming from me. I'm not telling anybody how to spend their money. That's not my place. That's your money. You do with it whatever you want. As long as the important things are taken care of, you can buy an alpaca. I don't really care. I think that price is ridiculous to be spending on a box set of not only 3 movies that have already come out, but 3 movies that are not like the best movies in the world. I mean, I love H2O. It's not my favorite movie in the world. Come on. And then there was the Walmart controversy. For about a day or two, there was an error on Walmart.com where you could actually purchase the set for $22.95. Now, a lot of people jumped on it, which was, I mean, anybody would if they were looking at this set. They're like, oh my God, it's like literally less than the price of one of these. Yeah, then that would be a spectacularly good deal. They caught it and they refunded a lot of orders. Now, some people said that all of the orders were refunded. That's not the case. I saw some people on Instagram who, in the physical media community, that had ordered it when the price error occurred, and they received their sets with the $22.95 price point. So, some people did get them with that error included. But people were upset, oh, Walmart canceled the order, they should honor it. I mean, this isn't more so for physical media. If you're this upset over something that Walmart's doing in 2022, 2023, you're kind of late. Just letting you know. Number 7 for him on his list was another Scream Factory issue. He said that not a lot of people were bringing this up. This was more of a personal thing for him. But what's really interesting is that even though it was more a personal entry for him, I understood it. This is the first of 2 on this list that I understood. That was the Evil Dead remake 4K, and how just much of a lack of effort that Scream Factory put into it. Now, I get it. It's a little bit, I can see the nitpicking and everything, but the price on that was like $34.99 or something when you bought it online. And it's only 1 disc, and they just put it on 4K. They didn't put any new special features or anything on it. Whereas they released it around the same time as the Army of Darkness 4K that had like 3 cuts and a bunch of new special features and everything. That I could kind of understand. I think for a boutique label, if you're going to be releasing a movie or re-releasing something, and people really want it, you shouldn't be charging that much. But again, since I'm not a big 4K collector, it's not really affecting me. Number 6, also, I mean, none of these affect me because they're 4K releases. I don't buy 4K. I think it's a gimmick. Number 6 had to do with Paramount, so we're off of the Scream Factory train for a while. We'll get back to that, though. And it was the fact that Paramount would release certain editions of movies at some point in the year, and then later on they would re-release them in like 4K. So they would release like a Blu-ray steelbook for something, or a Blu-ray or 4K set, and then later on they would release the 4K steelbooks and everything. I understand some people's frustrations or like annoyances at like why weren't these released around the same time, especially when you don't know at that point in time that they're going to be doing something like this in the future. At the same time, I don't care. I really don't. In my eyes, if they released like that Wayne's World set, it that set had what, both movies in it on Blu-ray. If it was for the right price, I would buy it because I just have the DVDs, and I wouldn't mind upgrading. Again, if the price was right. If it was like $15, I'd probably grab it, but no more than that. And then they're like, oh, and then they released the Steelbook a month later. I'm gonna tell you, I only have a couple Steelbooks in my collection. I don't even have one hand. Yeah, I do. The only Steelbooks I really buy from are Mill Creek Steelbooks, because not only are they taking older movies and giving them care and treatment, but they just, I mean, I don't know. They do a really good job with their Steelbook releasing. They do release standardized versions of these, I believe. I'm not sure. They didn't do a... I have the Street Fighter Steelbook. I don't think they did a standard release for that. But I'm not a big Steelbook collector because the prices on these 4K Steelbooks are frickin' outrageous, especially for new releases and older releases, any release. For example, yeah, this one. This is a new-ish movie. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. DVD, Blu-ray, 4K. It had all that. And also had a steelbook. Let's see. It would... Studios for a normal release, it would be like $14.99 for the DVD. These are ballpark estimates, give or take a few dollars. $19.99 for the Blu-ray. $24.99 for the 4K, maybe more. To $29.99 for the 4K. And then $34.99 for the same 4K in a steelbook packaging. $35 plus tax for one movie is insane for me. And steelbook collectors more so collect the movies, from what I notice, more for the artwork than they do for the actual movie inside. So I don't know. I really, like, that was another one that I went, okay, oh, so just trade in your release that you bought, or return it if you have the receipt. I keep my receipts for a certain amount of time. Just trade it in or return it and then get the one that you want. I understand it can be an inconvenience or a mild hassle, but whatever. Problem solved. Then we have numbers 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. 5, 4, 3, and 2. I'm going to talk about all of these at once because they're the same problem spread out across 4 different releases. And that was pretty much the problem was the 4K transfers for certain releases. Number 5 was the 4K transfer for Pirates of the Caribbean, The Curse of the Black Pearl from Disney. Number 4 was the 4K transfer of Planes, Trains, and Automobiles from Paramount. Number 3 was the 4K transfer of Friday the 13th from Paramount. And number 2 was the 4K transfer for of Heat from Disney, which I don't even understand how Heat went from Warner Brothers to 20th Century Fox to Disney, but it did. But that was it. The complaint for... I remember this was at the very beginning of last year when the Pirates of the Caribbean disc came out. People were up in arms. They said it was a horrible disc. Disney did a really bad job. People were saying, like, Disney should be ashamed of themselves for putting this out there and this, that, and the other. And I said, well, what's the problem? Is it a cut version? Did they remove some stuff? Did they downgrade it? What's the problem? Did they take... from what I thought that they put, like, a VHS quality print onto a 4K disc, and they took like a half hour out of the movie. No, a lot of shots just didn't look as good as the Blu-ray. And I saw a lot of people doing their side-by-side comparisons. They had pictures of one shot from the 4K and then the same shot from the Blu-ray. I can't tell a difference. I did several comparisons. I looked at a couple. First of all, the ones that started coming out, they were taking the pictures right off of their TV screens. I can't really tell a difference when I'm looking at a photo of a television screen. I have to see the actual comparisons. When I saw the actual comparisons, I went, all I notice is that the 4K has a little bit of a dimmer look. I really don't understand what the problem is. And a lot of people are like, well, they should have just taken the Blu-ray transfer and put it on a 4K disc. Doesn't that defeat the purpose of owning that movie on 4K then? Make it make sense. So when I saw that, I went, oh, I really want to make a video response on this, but I don't really have the knowledge or know-how or the like enough info to kind of like back up how I feel about this. Even though I could have at the time, and I still would have been justified in it. The Planes, Trains, and Automobiles one. Now that comes about, it's on 4K. The movie celebrated its 35th anniversary this past year. Paramount commemorated it by putting it onto 4K. Not only that, but on the release, there was like a whole bunch of deleted footage that they recovered that they thought was lost that they put on the disc, which I thought, wow, I'm not going to buy it, but if I were to start getting into 4K collecting, that release would be the first one I buy, because that shows that Paramount is putting care into their releases. I have not heard a single word about any of the new scenes, any of the new footage. I have not heard anybody even say Paramount is super awesome for doing that, for putting the new footage on there, which is why I'm saying it now. Paramount, I think you did a really good job. Even though I don't have the release, I have the movie. I have it right here on Blu-ray, which does not have that footage, but Paramount, I think you did a really good job with what you did. No, they were complaining that the 4K looked a little too grainy, and it didn't look as good as the Blu-ray. It is a movie from 1987. How good do you want it to look? Really? Honestly, ask yourself. I just watched Trading Places for the first time last week, and the only copy I have of that is on DVD, and it looked really damn good on DVD. That's because Paramount does a really good job. This is going to seem controversial. Paramount does a really good job at transferring their films onto disc format. Even their movies that are just on DVD, which is why I've been debating about picking up the Wayne's World set, because the DVDs look really good when they're upscaled. If you put a standard definition DVD disc into a Blu-ray player, it's going to upscale it to make it look a little bit better. The Paramount DVDs, I think, are the best receptors to this because they look really good in HD quality like that, because Paramount does a really good job on their DVD transfers. If you're complaining that a movie from 35 years ago doesn't look up to snuff with a 2022 theatrical movie, there's something wrong. And that's why studios are kind of starting to phase out physical media in stores, because of, like, just not only due to declining sales, that's a big factor, but I think it's because they're seeing people complain about small stuff like this, and it's like, what can we do? What are we gonna do anything right? Like, again, that's just my opinion, that's just my perspective. So when that happened, I was like, you've got to be kidding me. You really have got to be kidding me. No, like, what about the new or lost? Well, I haven't gotten to it yet because I couldn't watch the movie. It was too grainy. Then return it and shut up. I really, I don't, that was harsh, I'm sorry. But I don't know what else to say. That frustrated the absolute piss out of me when I heard that. And then the Friday the 13th 4K, which is also from Paramount, people were saying, well, it's too dark. It looks too dark. I saw photos and I'm like, looks fine to me. And even Ken, Mid-Level Media, he said, I didn't understand what people were saying. I thought the movie looked really, really good for 4K. It is a movie, that one's even older. That one's from 1980. They didn't even shoot it with the best cameras back then. I can only imagine what the Blu-ray disc looks like. I'm probably okay. How good do you expect this shit to look? Honestly, how do you want to reach out and touch these characters as they're performing this movie for you? Now, I understand some people are going to rush to the comments like, well, 4K is supposed to be a premium format, and these aren't premium transfers. They don't look that way to me, I can tell you that. They look pretty alright to me. I don't understand why everybody is so, like... And then, what was it was the same complaint on the Heat Blu-ray. It looked too dark. Or the Heat 4K. Okay. I'm exhausted now. I really don't know. That's the thing with 4K collectors. They are... I feel that they are just very nitpicky. Like, they go through everything with a fine-tooth comb. And this could make me a pariah and everything, and, you know, that's wonderful. I'm just speaking my opinion. But that's why I don't collect 4Ks, because me personally, I don't care. I think with 4K, people care too much. And it's taking the... I feel that that ruins their viewing experience of the movie. So, I mean, when it got to those, I went, really? And then we get to the last one, and this is the second time where I said, okay, fully understand, and I would be upset too. Number one was from Scream Factory, and this was back in August when they released Child's Play 1, 2, and 3 onto 4K. There was, how could I describe this? Let me get a Steven Seagal movie out. So basically what would happen is they would open it up, and on the inside of their case there would be this greasy residue. Not only that, when they would take the discs out, there would be like this sludgy slime-like substance that would be on their disc. Yeah, that one is perfectly justifiable, because if I opened something that was brand new and that had all of that shit on it, I'd be pretty upset. That's disgusting. Why is there... I mean, the greasy residue is bad enough. Why is it onto my disc? Because not only can that affect the disc with whatever that was, it can affect playback in your player, and if that stuff gets onto your, like, laser or into the components, it could affect and ruin your player. And that leads into more problems. I have to spend, like, $100 or $150 to get a new 4K player. And I have to, you know, spend another $25, $30 on another copy of this movie that I just bought because it frickin' ruined my player. That one I understand. That one I fully get, and I fully understand people's frustrations for. I don't want to open I don't want to open any one of my movies and have something coming out of it that I don't recognize. If I bought a Blu-ray of Orphan First Kill. Okay, it says it's the Blu-ray digital code combo pack. I open it up, boom, there's the Blu-ray disc, there's the digital code, there's no secretions or anything, no fluids, nothing in it. Perfect. I expect none of that in there. And if I do get that, then that's really, really gross. When I saw pictures of that, I went, holy hell. That is disgusting, because it is. It's revolting to even think about. I don't know what the hell that was. Was it disc rot? Was it the plastic melting? It was weird. And I work in a daycare, and I've seen some gross stuff. So, but that's it. I just wanted to voice my frustrations. This video might be heavily disliked. I know that you guys can't see the dislikes or whatnot, but I will. Let's have a discussion. Do you think that I'm reading too much into this? Do you guys think, well, he's got a point? I don't know. Just to me, like I said, all of that stuff, it really kind of like, it took some of the joy out of collecting physical media. I mean, yes, I was buying Blu-rays and everything, and even on my Blu-ray Tuesday series, I would complain at length and I probably still will, how the stores don't put the stuff out. But 99% of the time when I was complaining, I was also detailing about how I would ask an employee for help and they would just flat out refuse to help me. That is a problem. So yeah, I'm going to go get some water. My throat's a little parched. I will see you all later. Don't kill me.